Ninja. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome. This is the Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts. Every Wednesday, I do an earnings stream to look at the live price reactions to the earnings data. This week, we got some big players here. Meta, and it's going to be reporting, and also Microsoft. Closing bell to the regular session. There it is. Okay, regular session is officially closed. And Ninja on Discord says, hopefully Meta doesn't pull an AMD. No kidding. I was watching that. That was crazy. So let's just kind of jump right into it. I'm going to zoom in on these charts using TradingView here. Got Meta on my left side. Just going to zoom into the 1 minute, get a clearer picture of after hours price action. Same thing with Microsoft. Zoom in there. Microsoft was kind of selling off a little bit into the close, but closed the regular session at 433.50. Meta closed the regular session at 591.71. Microsoft, okay, getting a bunch of volatility here on Microsoft. We had a huge wick up to 440, then a wick down to around 419, 420. Now it's kind of just thinking, okay, yeah, just getting some anticipatory volatile candles leading up to the earnings. It's 4:01 p.m. Eastern, so candles are acting a little funky right now, leading up to this announcement. Let's look at Meta. Well, let me go back to the sticks real quick. Okay, so that's Microsoft acting all funky right now. I would assume both of them are going to just start acting a little crazy leading up to the earnings, which should be the next couple minutes. Meta reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. They have a consensus EPS $5.19, forecast revenue $40.14 billion. So we'll see what their data ends up coming in at. Just a few more minutes before we get the data. Microsoft reports at 4:10 p.m. Eastern, so technically right after Meta. Consensus EPS $3.08, forecast revenue $64.43 billion. So let me just go back to the sticks real quick and just take a look here. I do have an open trade on Meta. It's an inverse iron condor. I'll go over that trade here in a little bit after we get the reactions. Microsoft showing some bullishness here in after hours, up $10 a share. Again, I don't think the data's out yet, so this is just anticipatory stuff going on here. Let me pull up my other screen, so as soon as the data comes out, I'll post that on YouTube for everybody. Welcome everyone on YouTube. It's almost 300 people tuning in from YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. And of course, we got a pretty good group here in the Discord tuning in. All right, let me refresh my other screen. Meta getting a bullish move here, up over $7 a share in after hours. Again, I don't think the data's out, so just take it with a grain of salt for now. But let me get my other screen ready to go for the data. Then I'll get that posted for everybody. Let me just make sure my screen is still shown in Discord. Looks like we're still good to go there. Okay, let me log into my my other screen here, and I got Meta ready to go, and then I have Microsoft on a separate window. Both stocks up in after hours so far. Meta's up $5 a share and some change. Microsoft up $8 a share. Okay, let me see. It looked like there was some pretty big ER lottos that came in right before the closing bell. Okay, and these were orders buying above the ask, so it was kind of bullish flow. And then it kind of flipped to what was bearish flow throughout the day, and then it kind of flipped to bullish right before the close. That's on Meta. Let me see here. Had a couple people with some plays that were eyeing the 650 calls or the 655 calls on the downside. For a hedge, you do the 550 put. Got some bold predictions on Twitter here from Vladimir. Meta beats earnings and revenue estimates as the prediction, plus announces a stock split. I mean, we'll see if that's in the cards for Meta, but usually we see the stock splits when, you know, the underlying price gets to around $1,000 a share or something. Then they you know, more of a chance of doing a forward split on that. Okay, so still waiting on data. Now, technically, Meta should be out right now, and we're getting a big bearish reaction. It's already down to below 575, so it's down $18 a share. Also, coming into this earnings, Meta's expected move for Friday was plus or minus $50 a share. So, you know, $50 move up or down being priced into the options chain for November 1st, Friday. And we are definitely getting a bearish initial move on Meta, so that data must be out. Let me refresh my other source page here and see if I can get some EPS and revenue data for everyone and some forward guidance. Now, the open position I had on Meta was an inverse iron condor, which means I can profit whether the price goes up or go down. I just don't want the price to stay flat. That's where my risk is with the trade. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm not like biased as far as it going up. I mean, I'm not biased as far as it going up or down as far as the move goes. But again, my bias with the trade, I don't want Meta to be flat tomorrow morning, close the regular session at 591.71. So I definitely don't want it trading around there tomorrow. That's where the risk lies with my trade. But as long as we get a decent move, either down or up, it should be looking good tomorrow. Microsoft initially had a bullish move, but Microsoft data is not out yet. I think Meta is. Let me just double check the times again. Microsoft 4:10 p.m., Meta 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So Meta's out. Let's see. Okay, got some preliminary data here. Okay. EPS, Meta's EPS came in at $6.03, which beat the expectation of $5.21. Their revenue came in at $40.6 billion, which beat the expectations on that as well. The forecast on that was $40.1 billion. So they got a double beat on EPS and revenue. However, I want to see the guidance, see if there's some guidance. Okay, Meta also announcing $100 billion buyback. That's interesting. Let me post some of this data on YouTube because I know a lot of people are here probably for both, probably Meta and Microsoft. So let me get the EPS revenue data posted for Meta. I'll just show it on my screen there. Whoops, my name was kind of covering my face there on the stream. All right, so let me just scroll down here for a second. Hold on, y'all. Okay. All right, let's keep marching forward here. So again, just to recap, Meta's EPS came in $6.03. They had a forecast of $5.21. Revenue came in $40.6 billion, beating forecasts of $40.1 billion, and they announced a $100 billion buyback. So I mean, that seems like good information. I just want to see if they somehow adjusted the guidance, maybe the remainder of fiscal year of this year, which would be Q4, right? And then maybe if they mentioned anything about Q1 of 2025. Let me see here. All right, it's 4:09 p.m. So we should be getting Microsoft's data here soon. So we got some initial data on Meta, EPS and revenue, and the buyback. Let me refresh Microsoft and see what's going on there. I don't think it's been released yet. Okay. Okay, Microsoft earnings looks like it is out. And so that first move, that bullish first move might be the real move. Let me post the Microsoft data. Their EPS came in at $3.30 versus $3.09. So they beat on EPS. Revenue came in 65.6 billion versus 64.4 billion. So double beat on Microsoft. I guess no surprises there, right? Let me and also for Microsoft, their cloud sales came in 38.9 billion. And the estimate for their cloud sales was 38.1 billion. So they beat cloud sales, they beat EPS, they beat revenue. Okay, let me just go over some of this data here. So, okay, we talked about the cloud revenue, productivity and business processes. They brought in 28.3 billion. The estimate for that was 23.79 billion. Okay, a couple things on Microsoft. Azure, if everyone's heard of Azure, and other cloud services, there was 33% growth on that. That's good. Now, more personal computing, they did miss on that. The forecast was 13.2 billion, and well, it came in at 13.2 billion, and the forecast was 13.9 billion. So they missed on that, but it was still up 17% year over year. Okay, let me go back a page here. Let me post some of this preliminary stuff for Microsoft. I'll get that posted on YouTube here. There we go. So anyone joining looking for Microsoft data, I'm gonna put I'll put a Fibonacci on this chart. Let me just switch over here. I'm gonna go to 2-chart view. By the way, anyone who traded Visa with me before their earnings, we made some really good money on that. So congrats if you took that trade with me in the Discord. Let me go to 2-chart view here and get these pulled up. Okay, so let's put Microsoft on the right and put Meta on the left. And I'm gonna zoom in the 1-minute chart. Okay, Microsoft coming right back down. Again, I closed the regular session at 432.53. The price did pump up to 444.95, and now it's coming back. It's retracing back. Let me see what the Fibonacci looks like on this. I'm not gonna use this bottom wick down here because that was before the data came out. Just wanna, I guess it's basically retracing 100%, right? You can see right here. So it's Microsoft going back the other way. I don't know if they maybe adjusted the guidance downwards. Let me see if I got some more info here. Okay, Microsoft says we're on a mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Unusual Whales posted some info. Basically, what I already went over. Here's some good data on AlphaSense. Let me just move this over here so we can see it. Let's see here. All right, yes, let me just go over this real quick. Okay, we already went over a lot of the revenue line items. Let me just talk about the comments from the CEO and stuff. So AI-driven transformation is changing work artifacts, and workflow across every role, function, and business process. And that's what the chairman and CEO said. We're expanding our opportunity and winning new customers as we help them apply our AI platforms and tools to drive new growth and operating leverage. Okay. Strong execution by our sales teams and partners delivered a solid start to our fiscal year with Microsoft Cloud revenue of 38.9 billion, which we already knew that there was growth there, 22% year over year. That was said by Amy Hood, who's the Vice President and CFO. Let me move this back over here. I just want to look at Meta one more time. Okay, so Microsoft, it retraced basically 100%, but now it's going back. Now it's heading back up the upward. So we'll see what happens. It's sitting right around 50% retrace, which is around 437. Let's see if we can get back up over there. Maybe give us a little confidence that this is going to reverse and go back up. I'm surprised Meta is still down here announcing that buyback. Let me post the metadata. I'll just kind of flip back and forth on those. All right, let's take a look here. I'm going to show you all the trade I did. Okay, so Meta's down here at 574. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, Meta getting dumped in after hours, after earnings. Active people. Okay, so for Meta, daily active people, can you believe 3.29 billion on average for September 2024? It's a 5% year over year increase on daily active users, basically on Meta. Another couple notes from Meta. Yeah, I do like this little graphic here, which shows some pretty good info. If you could see it on my screen here. So profit margin 34.3%. That's pretty strong profit margin. Free cash flow 49.5 billion. Forward PE ratio 26.1. What was their PE going into this? 27.77. So that didn't change much. Came down a little bit, but a couple weaknesses for Meta, of course, is the regulatory challenges. They're always under the microscope, especially from the feds. Reputational and brand risk. Okay. Well, some strengths: dominant social media ecosystem, investment in the metaverse, VR and AR, strong financials and cash flow. I really do think that's definitely the very positive thing for Meta is their financials and cash flow. That free cash flow, almost 50 billion there. Pretty good. Revenue forecast is showing growth there. They're expecting revenue to keep climbing. Let me pull this back over and exit out of that real quick. Let's see here. Okay, that's why Meta's kind of coming down a little bit. MetaPump sees fourth quarter revenue 45 billion to 48 billion. Okay, it looks like they increased the guidance for remainder of fiscal year 2024. It looks like they increased that up from 45 to 48. So they did increase guidance, and they're still sitting down here. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, the forecast guidance from before for Q4 was 46 billion, and they announced today that they basically raising that up to 48 billion. So they beat EPS, they beat revenue, and they raised guidance for Q4, and they're still sitting down here. So maybe investors want to know more about Q1 of 2025, and that's why it hasn't caught a bid yet. It's not down too much. I mean, down $14 a share, but that's only like 2.5%. It's only down 2.5%, so it's not like got a huge move down or anything like that. Meta strong performance driven by AI progress. Yeah, let me pull up Hood because I know that was another one. Let me just pull it up over here. They had earnings as well, and yeah, they dropped. They're down over 12%. Good old Robinhood. They wicked up to 29 first, and then sold off. Went down to 22.98. So they're down almost 13% here. Looks like it might be trying to form the infamous H pattern, which we all know what that looks like, right? Do I have just a regular drawing tool? Yeah, right here. So a lot of times we get these H patterns, and you get to move down, and then it ends up forming an H, and breaks out the bottom of that H. This thing's going down. Oh, I can't draw today. But yeah, we play these H patterns a lot. Kind of looks like that. I can't draw today, so forgive me. Yeah, let me put a Fibonacci on this. I just want to see where 25% is. I'm going to start from this red candle when it started selling off, draw it down to 22.98. So it did retrace 25, actually came back to 38% retrace, which is right around $25 a share. Got rejected from there, and now it's about $24.50 area. It's kind of that 25%. So we kind of want to see this hold, and then maybe it starts making higher lows, and Hood starts clawing back. Let me see if I got any data on Hood while we're talking about it. I want to see what their EPS and revenue came in at. Got about 700 people tuning in. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Welcome, y'all. Probably a lot of returning viewers, because since I've been doing this every Wednesday, basically for more than half of the year. Okay, Hood, total revenues increased 36% year over year. Net income increased to 150 million. So, I mean, the raw data looks good, but they're not catching a bid either. Of course, the CEO is trying to sugarcoat everything. Oh, I'm really proud of our Q3 results and how smoothly our product engine is humming, said Vlad. In the past month, we introduced Robinhood Legend, our new desktop offering, and announced index options futures. I did see that. That was pretty cool that you can trade futures on Robinhood now. That's pretty good. And a realized profit loss tool are coming soon. So they're saying they're going to be implementing that soon. That's pretty cool. And just this week, they launched presidential election market. Can you believe that? People are betting on the election. I know there's a lot of sport. I live in Florida, so I know there's a lot of sports books in Florida that you can bet on the election as well. Let's see here. Q3 was another strong quarter, drove 36% year-over-year revenue growth, and dropped most of that to the bottom line. Entered 2024 with the goal of delivering another year of profitable growth. So we're excited to have already broken prior full-year records in both revenue and EPS. You know, maybe Hood ends up catching a bid here. We'll see. But the initial reaction was negative. I don't think the earnings were bad. I just think, you know, the forecasts were, or I just think they were overpriced kind of leading into the earnings. I wouldn't be surprised if this recovers. I would think $20 too is a good support for this stock. Good mental level there, $20 a share. It's trading at 25. It's only down $3 a share. So for you Hood bulls out there, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. It is showing signs of life here, trying to retrace this fib. And just keep your eye on it for the rest of extended hours and see if it starts making higher lows, and you'd probably be okay. Ninja says, is this manipulation? Hey, man, who knows? But it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Coin got crushed too. I know Mara's got their earnings coming up as well. Let me just flip to Coin, because they reported too. Yeah, look at them. They're selling off. They're down 12, 13 bucks a share here, down 6%. Let me go back. So I still got Microsoft on the right, and it did catch a bid at first. Like I said, it rallied up to almost 445, did a 100% retrace, and now it's trying to come back again. So a little bit of indecision on Microsoft as far as what investors are doing, institutions and hedge funds, and you know, they're still trying to figure out which way this is going to go, or what they're going to do with their positions. Let me refresh this other thing over here. Hold on one second. I'm going to put a Meta back up on the left side, because these are the two tickets I was looking at. Meta's still hanging out down here, down almost 3% in after hours. Let me see. Let me pull this over. So for Meta, we already went over most of this, but Vast user base allows to leverage a powerful advertising platform. Yes, a ton of people use Meta for advertising. I do myself with some of the businesses I have here in Florida. I do the boosted ads and all that, so I know they're making money, good money on that, reaching billions of users and create substantial revenue from ad sales. Yeah, I believe that. Focus on building the metaverse through platforms like Horizon Worlds and devices like the Oculus VR headset that Zuck's always pushing. As it positions itself as a leader in the next potential evolution of digital engagement. Consistently generates high revenue and cash flow, enabling it to invest in research and development. Well, that's obvious. Kind of a bad thing. Intense scrutiny over data privacy. I think that negative aspect of Meta's business model is just never going to go away. There's always going to be scrutiny over data privacy, content moderation, monopolistic behavior in the US and Europe. I mean, that's just never going to go away. It's always going to be there. So I wouldn't necessarily think that's, it's just not going to go away. So there's nothing you can do about it. But obviously the pros outweigh the cons as far as profitability for the company. All right, cool. So let me this back. So that's the deal with Meta. It hasn't caught a bid yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it eventually does catch a bid. $100 billion buyback. They beat EPS, they beat revenue, and they increased guidance for Q4. Okay. Let's see if I got anything else. Now, I did want to point out about Meta, their operating expenses did increase by 14%. So that kind of raises some concerns about cost management. I mean, why did their operating expenses increase that much? Well, 14%, that's, with the amount of money that Meta's involved with as a company, 14%, that's a big hit in operating expenses. So yeah, that is going to raise some concern about cost management. And maybe that's why it initially, sold off a little bit. And one of their Meta's other projects, Reality Labs, continues to incur significant losses, and those losses are expected to increase for the remainder of 2024. So that's not good. That's like we can't just look at EPS and revenue. Like, okay, great, they beat EPS, they beat revenue. Okay, well, that's all fine and dandy, but they got operating expenses are increasing. They got significant losses on some of their pet projects. Regulatory challenges in Europe and US. We already talked about that, and it could impact future performance. So let me go back to Microsoft real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I just want to get some more data, but it looks like Meta might be trying to claw back. There's some buyers stepping up to the plate here, and it might have something to do with the buyback that they announced, and of course they raised Q4 guidance. So we'll go back to Microsoft. Microsoft, it's up over a little over 1% here in after hours, almost $5 a share. Initially, I'm not even going to count this red candle here because that was just volatility before the earnings data. But when the data was released, I mean, it initially caught a bid almost up to 445, which was looking good. And then again, it retraced 100%, but now it's kind of on its way back up a little bit. Overall, I think the earnings for Microsoft and Meta were good. Okay, I didn't see anything that was really like crazy bad about them. More good than bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if both of these stocks, end up trending up going into tomorrow. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. If this was just going to be some huge negative reaction and investors really didn't like the data and they're not liking what they're seeing, I mean, this would still be on its way down, folks. It would be below 555 already. But that's not happening. There was a little, we did get the initial bearish reaction, but then it came back up, a little bit of indecision, and now buyers are stepping up to the plate. Again, it's that buyback. I think it's helping them out a lot right now. That's Meta. Microsoft, kind of similar deal with Microsoft. I mean, they had an initial bullish reaction. It retraced 100%. of that initial pump, which was obviously not what the bulls want to see. But it's clawing back, folks. Just pop a Fibonacci on there. The more levels that this is breaking to the upside, the more confidence, that should be building as far as whether we think this thing's in fact going to reverse and start trending up. I mean, both these stocks could be. We could get a trend day out of both of these tomorrow, because it takes a minute for the earnings data to get digested, and I think it's been digested now, and they're both heading in the upward direction. Microsoft. Let me just show this info on Microsoft real quick. So I want to talk about some of their financials and fundamentals. So let's see here. Okay, revenue up 16% year over year. So that was a $1 billion beat. Gross margin 69%, excuse me. Operating margin 47%. EPS 330. That was a 19-cent beat on that. Let me just look at this graphic here, see if there's any cool info I can talk about. So yeah, you can kind of see from this graphic, where some of their products are kind of are losing money, and we talked about that Azure Intelligent Cloud, for that 44% of the operating margin, and you can see on the right side that they took a hit on the operating expenses, which increased from the same time. And also the more personal computing cost of revenue, 20.1 billion in the red. So that's kind of what's hurting them right now. But outside of that, I mean, I definitely strong numbers on the flip side of the coin here. Gross profit 45.5 billion, great there. And revenue 65.6 billion. So out of that 65.6 billion. Gross profit 45.5 billion. Now operating profit 30.6 billion in the positive, which leads us into the net profit, which is the more important number, 24.7 billion, which puts them at a 38% margin. So I'm really liking that. All right, let me move this back over. So I think we got the reactions that I think we got the initial reactions, should I say. So if you're going to follow this in after hours, I'm probably going to do this. Let me actually, okay. To there, I'm going to draw a fib on this one. I'm just going to draw it down to right about there. So just be looking for some of these levels to start breaking to the upside for this to reverse, and I think the bulls are going to be just fine on this. Again, two powerhouse companies, part of the Mag 7. If you're long on either one of these companies, you're going to be just fine. Especially if you plan on holding your position for a year or more, then you get the benefit of the long-term capital gain tax rate compared to the short-term capital gain tax rate, which is a lot more than the long-term. So you just need to hold your position for 12 months or more. You get a little tax break there. For y'all that hold longer term positions, especially with these two companies, I could probably see that. Let's see here. Let me go back a little bit and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. All right, it's a little after 4:30 p.m. To be honest with you, we're not really getting much of a move from either one of these. I mean, Microsoft's up 1.5%, Meta's down almost 1.5%. So not really getting a big move yet out of either one of these. But maybe investors are waiting on the web call with the CEO. A lot of times we'll see a secondary move once the web call gets started and the CEO starts speaking. If you want to know how to get to the web call with the CEO, it's very easy. Just type in MSFT Investor Relations. Okay, here I'll just show you real quick. Just if you want to go to the web call for Microsoft, just type in MSFT Investor Relations, literally that first link that pops up, just click on there, okay? And then here it is right here. Okay, so this is where they're going to talk about fiscal year 2025 and Q1 of next year during the web call. So just click on view details. And we should be able to find them. Okay, this is just the details of the, let me go back a little bit because I want to go to the events page. Go back here, events. There we go. All right, so here it is. So just Google MSFT Investor Relations, just like I did, and just click on events right here on the search results. Just click events right there. And let me move my face out of the way. There we go. And then right here, you see right here, okay, October 30th. Now that's 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, okay. Which is 5:30 p.m. Eastern for if anyone. I know a lot of people go by Eastern time. So the actual web call with Microsoft's CEO is 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and just do what I did, and then just click on here on webcast, and then they might make you. No, they don't even make you fill out a little form. So that's cool. So once you click on it, you have it pulled up, and then you'll be good to go there. Okay. Same thing with Meta. Let's find out when their web call is. Hold on. So I usually just do the same thing. Just Google Meta investor relations, just like I did. And you can see right here, investors event. Okay, just click on that, and then it should take you to where the web call is going to be. Yep, right here, upcoming events. Now their web call is at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which means it's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern here in about 30 minutes or so. All right, and then you just click on here, listen to webcast, and then you can listen to good old Mark Zuckerberg and what he's going to say. Okay, let me close that out. But you know, like I say, we're seeing a little bit of weakness on Meta, but not enough for me to think that this thing's going to sell off. And there is some buyers in the picture here in after hours because this thing's just not tanking. It looked like it wanted to at first, but it's it's holding up here. So the reaction is kind of flat, to be honest with you. And I know it's down $9 a share, but still, it's almost a $600 stock. What's $9 a share? Same thing with Microsoft. I mean, it's just it's positive. Yes, it's up $5-6 a share here in after hours, but just nothing crazy happening. So I kind of thought there was going to be bigger moves than this. Now going into the close, Meta did have an expected move of plus or minus $50. Now that's for Friday's expiration. That's what the options chain was pricing in. Okay, so it's only Wednesday. Maybe we do end up getting that $50 move, up or down, and maybe we see it, after the web call with the CEO. As far as Microsoft goes, their expected move for Friday's expiration is plus or minus like 19 or $20. Okay, so neither one of them have really, where the price is sitting at right now, neither one of them are even close to the expected move. So we're just going to have to wait and see more price action, gather more data for the rest of after hours, and of course pre-market data. And again, don't be surprised if you see a secondary move once the CEOs start their web calls. Okay. But yeah, with that said, yeah, I'm swinging bull. PB alerts. If you're looking for a new home, there's a link in the description. You can join for free. As far as our group PB alerts, I teach a lot of the advanced option strategies, I do a lot of spreads. I do a lot of multi-leg options like condors, stuff like that. I run the wheel on a ton of stocks, so selling cash secured puts, selling covered calls. I've been doing a lot of diagonal calendar trades lately, which are very, very fun to trade. So yeah, if anyone's interested in joining my team, I think it's only like $39 a month or something. We make that back in the day, easy. So if you're interested in joining my coaching group, and there's another link in the description where you can join that. But I'm not going to get too much into sales here because I do these Wednesday earnings stream just to jump on here, give you my thoughts on some of these stocks, look at some of the previous earnings and how the stocks reacted to the previous earnings. And I'm mainly just here to have fun. But like I say, if you're looking for a new home, come hang out with us. We live trade every single day, tons of education and stuff like that. You can find the corresponding links in the description if you're interested. Yeah, it's 4:40 p.m. Yeah, do go on Discord. That's right. Maris contracts, they're definitely juiced because they have earnings next week. I don't currently have an open position in Mara, but I have made a bunch of money on it this year, willing it. But for me personally, I'm not currently in any Mara position, so I'm just going to do the right thing, do the safer thing, and just wait for their earnings and see how they react to it instead of playing through the earnings, which we all know could be pretty risky there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. It was fun hanging out. Almost 800 people on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. Welcome. If this is your first time joining, I do this every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So come hang out with me. And again, if you're looking for a new home, come join our group. If you do end up joining the group, I look forward to meeting you. Swinging Bull, PB Alerts, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your night. Cheers, everybody.